Hello everybody, welcome back. So Bitcoin has broken out of this upwards channel, which is fine. We were thinking last night on the live stream that these formations typically break down, but this one's broken up. So a 30% chance of it breaking up, and it chose to opt in with the with a 30%. So that's fine. So what we're looking here, we've got to find roughly from the breakout point. This is kind of the target where we're looking to move up to. Doesn't mean we're going to do it today. This is roughly the sort of measure move that we'd be looking for, around about $54,000 overall. Basically, doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately, but this I suppose would be the target. We look at this on the daily. Let's have a look, see if the Bollinger Bands will permit that kind of move, and I think they probably would, wouldn't they? Yeah, they probably would permit that kind of a move on the daily, almost exactly actually. So yeah, that's where we're looking for. That's the target, I suppose. And so from where we are right now to I suppose that level, it's another 5, almost 6% basically to that level thereabouts. I mean that's not perfect. It's just a brief measure move. So another 5% move perhaps before a rejection over maybe the rest of the week. Obviously these things don't often work out to the T. It's just a very basic measure move. I'm going to keep these this channel in here just to see if it's respected as a support. So that's Bitcoin out of the way. Bitcoin is the mover at the moment, but we've got to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart to work out what's going on here. If we have a look at this, it's clearly bearish. Death cross, technically not confirmed yet, but and the cross itself isn't the big deal. I would like to see a rejection, if not now, because we're kind of getting a bit of a rejection trend line form, roughly speaking, around these kind of areas. You could argue. Let's go for the candle bodies, not for the wicks. So roughly around here, we could be looking for a rejection. If not, then we push up to the top to the 200 exponential. Hopefully, get a rejection there. And if we don't, then alt season is technically postponed until further notice. I would, to be honest with you, expect a rejection at some point and alts to continue with their rallies. With Bitcoin doing its thing, it unsettles the alts, and so basically we have to look at some of these major players in order to get a handle on if they're even capable of making some moves. So Ethereum doing its slow movements, but technically still in a bullish situation. So the reason we're focusing on Ethereum isn't because I'm expecting anything massive from it or it's the best thing in the world, but it's because it's such a large market cap. It does definitely count. So if this one breaks down, then it would have a massive impact on the Bitcoin dominance chart and for alts in general. But for the moment, it's holding its structure. The itchy cloud is still in play. Moving averages are all still in play, technically above all major moving averages, which are all still diverging. So that's fine. We do have a negative cross here on the MACD, but it's at a very high level. And in all fairness, it's going to have to cross down at some point. It can't just go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And if we have a look at how high it is, is that an all-time high? More or less. So it's cooling down. Maybe a bit of redistribution or consolidation. We've seen this a few times with Ethereum on this rally, and it's slow and steady, and then pops up, then consolidates in a bullish fashion up, and then consolidates in a bullish fashion. So I actually think that this is going to continue with its rally. It's not going to give us any insight as to whether that's going to happen immediately, but it's not bearish, which is the important thing. It's definitely not bearish. So 4 hourly still looks good. Structure still looks pretty good. It's not perfect on the 4 hourly, but it still looks pretty good. So I'm okay with alts continue with their rallies if Bitcoin needs to cool down a little bit, because when Bitcoin's volatile, it just unsettles the alts. It unsettles the alts. So let's have a look at XRP, shall we? Because I know that there's this court ruling or whatever it is, and people are expecting big moves from it one way or another, depending on the outcome of that. So I can't talk about that because I just have no idea what's going to happen. But on the chart structure alone, we've basically broke down from a continuous rally, which is pretty impressive. A pretty impressive move actually. So from that wick right there, right to the top, it was 63, almost 64% move, and now these wicks being sucked back up into the Bollinger Band and looking pretty good. In fact, it is looking pretty good. So let's have a look on the daily to see if we've got any clues as to what's going on here on the daily. So yeah, the structure is not perfect, but it's still looking okay. We've got a positive Ichimoku cloud conversion baseline cross here above the clouds, so this is bullish as well. Yeah, I mean, you could say, well, the MACD's turning down. It is, but it's still okay. I mean, it's not very high. I mean, technically, it could get nasty if we broke down from our structure, but the structure at the moment hasn't broken down. In fact, it looks like it's pushing up in anticipation for maybe another big move. A sustained move, that would be. The only problem I've got, obviously, there's two problems, which is Bitcoin's volatility. If Bitcoin moves all the way up to 5% and then pulls all the way back down again, then it's going to severely impact alts. But this is a top cap, so we kind of do depend on this one. We depend on Ethereum's health. We need these two guys to be relatively healthy, because we saw what happened after this pump and dump thing here, that it actually brought the entire altcoin market down. So, alts in general are vulnerable to some of these other boys. XRP, Litecoin, Chainlink, Ethereum, Binance Coin, obviously that's doing very well. So they do depend on a lot of these top caps moving and remaining in a bullish structure. Chart alone, it is good. It is good as a chart on the daily. So to expect continuation from this one, I would expect continuation from this one. The only problem is this whole court business. So if this works out in its favour, then it's going to go bullish probably, because I suppose that's the expectation of it. I'm not willing to trade it off the back of that, nor am I really willing to get into any kind of position on this because of that, right? Because those are sort of things I can't account for, and because I can't account for them, it overshadows any form of certainty of the chart itself, right? Just like trading stocks and things like that. We're doing good, and then suddenly, I don't know, something comes out of the blue about a company or an asset, and it dumps. So that's basically what we're looking at here. We need to find out what's going on with it, and of course that might mean that you missed the boat. Me personally, I've bought most of my XRP down this accumulation period, so I'm quite happy with that. Bought a little bit more around here. But so I'm just holding it anyway, because I believe the market cycle is going to work out well for XRP, bringing it up to at least a few dollars, and probably beyond its all-time high. So I'm just willing to sit there and sit on it basically. But as far as the current events are concerned, I can't. I'm not willing to put any kind of leverage on this because it's just too unpredictable. Anyway, we've got to monitor these guys, we've got to monitor Ethereum, we've got to hope that the Bitcoin dominance chart continues with this rejection down here, so 1, 2 and then possibly 3, but if it does break out of here, I would expect a rejection around about 64, maybe 64 and a half, and then alts to continue to rally. Again, like I say, with Bitcoin being so volatile, you can't really expect alts to have any kind of I suppose conviction over their moves right now, because the number one is moving and people are moving into the number one. I would probably suggest, however, that hedging back into alts around here would not necessarily be the best idea, but a decent idea. So shaving off a little bit of profit from the Bitcoin. So we hedge into Bitcoin here, we hedged into it here, we hedge into alts a bit here, we did a bit here as well, and we'd certainly do it around here. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You have to try these things. Anyway, I'm not a financial advisor. That's my strategy. That's how I'm playing this. So I've going into some more altcoins already. I basically already have at this level, expecting a rejection. If it doesn't work out, it's no big deal. I'll hedge into a little bit more around here, and if that doesn't work, then I'll hold my hands up and say, you beat me, which is fine, never mind. Anyway, thank you for watching, hope you have a nice day, and take it easy.